Okay, on to part 3. So I booked the Camino after waiting 6 months to make sure that this is something I wanted to do. So that was in November, so I had 10 months until the trip. I've never been overseas. As far as I've gone is Canada or US. So this is my first time overseas. So after meeting the ladies and whatnot, a few of us decided that we would go into Paris first before we went down to Lourdes, which is where our jet lag days were to be. And so we started the Camino experience. Brenda reached out and we chatted and we shared a room. We weren't far from the Notre Dame, and we got to see it before it burned, and I believe it's all been restored now. But prior to getting ready to go, so the game plan was always to take some of my husband's ashes and scatter them along the Camino. And the day I got to a point prior to leaving for the Camino, I thought, if I hadn't paid for it, it's non-refundable, that don't know if I was wanting to still go. So this is why I gave myself that 6 months to make sure that I wanted to do it and it wasn't grief talking. And overall, I still think it was grief talking to me. But his ashes were in my suitcase. I'm waiting for the cab. His container of ashes was in my suitcase, and within 5 minutes of the cab arriving, I took his ashes out, left him at home, and told him, sorry, this Camino's for me. And I think that's an important lesson, because even though our loved one's gone, you can honor them best by making sure you continue to live afterwards. Because I'm sure if they're watching down on you, that's exactly what they would want for you. They wouldn't want you to be in that state of mind where you're constantly doing things for them and they're gone. The journey ended up being mine. So I'll post a few more pictures. I think in part 4, I'll just kind of wrap up, the experience, how I felt. Was it life-changing like some people said it was going to be, and whatnot. And we'll put a few more clips of the road as I traveled. Get up, tape our feet, prepare our backpacks, and let's go find breakfast. We were all well into our daily groove. There is no particular order of my photos, as I had a few thousand to go through, but I did my best to align the journey in stages. I would say there are 4 stages on the Camino to Santiago, and this is our stage 3. I felt stronger physically and mentally. The Meseta was definitely very challenging for me, as it felt sometimes I was walking down a very long dirt road. But I also knew there was another significant hill to climb in my near future. We had a rest day in Leon, and the cathedral was amazing. Though for me personally, I felt the cathedral, as amazing as it was, fell victim to commercialization. The smaller churches I visited along the way felt very different and stood out more for me. In this stage, I had several days where I would walk ahead so I could walk alone. It was also the stage where my inner strength gave me days where I was the first to arrive at our destination. I had many days where I was one of the last to arrive. Walking alone also gave me the courage to test out my navigation skills. Though the Camino is fairly well marked, there are times when you can miss a marker and start walking the wrong way. The locals are very supportive. If they see you off the trail, they will point you in the right direction, even if they don't speak English. I wondered, how did I miss that turn? Easy. While I was walking alone, I was deep in thought, and I just walked by and was not really paying attention to what was around me. We are now in the first part of October, and the days are getting shorter and cooler. Many of us had headlamps. We would put them on, and off onto the dark trails we would go. I remember one day standing outside of our albergue and I looked up. The stars were so bright and felt so close. I was seeing different constellations and it felt like I could reach up and touch the stars. Morning after morning, we had beautiful sunrises. Village after village, another church. What was pleasant is the group would meet up after a long day and celebrate our completion of the day with a drink and potato chips. It was becoming a ritual for us.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
There, Ariana. Everybody just.
Oh, that's my finger.
I love it.
On one of our rest days, we were treated to a trip to see the petroglyphs. It wasn't something I was expecting, but overall the group was very happy to have this opportunity. Cruz de Ferro on the Camino is a symbolic place where pilgrims would leave a stone representing the burdens they wished to release, allowing them to move forward with a lighter spirit. Though I visited many churches and a few cathedrals along this journey, I did not feel the spiritual connection. Perhaps it should have been one of the burdens I left behind, but grief takes you on a journey and you process it one day at a time. Many people had said to me prior to starting this walk, it would be life-changing. While walking, I thought, why wasn't I experiencing this life-changing walk like many others? I was finding peace with my own thoughts, but I had been finding peace with my thoughts even before starting to walk the Camino. Walking in nature, whether it was in Canada or across Spain, gave me the sense of being one with the earth. I'm a true believer Mother Nature heals us, and if we take the time to sit in the quiet and listen. If you haven't already watched part 1 and 2, I would recommend you do, and I'll wrap up this journey in part 4.